Hi there, and thank you for tuning in. Here I have the Weeylite K21, and it's basically just a stick of light. That's all it is. So if you are in a need for a steady light, a very compact one that will fit in a small studio and give you light from different angles where you easily can hide this light, then this light actually may be something for you. Let's start out with the negative things in this review, and it's quickly done. I would say the build quality is okay, but it's not fantastic. It's a lot of plastic here, I think there is involved in, especially the ends here. And then also here in the buttons, they are maybe not the best buttons I've ever tried on a light or in general camera gear, but it does the job, it's okay. One thing I quickly missed is that I work with this light in the dark, and you can see here that the buttons, they are not backlit. It's only the display I can see in the dark, but I have to know where these buttons are. It's okay, there's only, other than the on-off switch here, where my thumb is, there are actually only 4 buttons. So it's easy to work with. And I will say that is actually the only negative things I have to say about this product. And I will take you through some of the very clever things behind this, because I think it is a well-designed product. And it should definitely be on your shortlist if you're in the market for a small compact light. It doesn't give all that much light relative to many other lights you can buy, and especially flashlight. It's 8 watts, and if you're as old as me, so you calculate light in classic light bulbs, it's around 75 watts back in the days, but it's called 8 watts today. Maybe that's not enough for you, but then of course you can buy more lights, or you can use it just as a fill light. There are many options, but the great thing about this one is that it's compact and it's battery driven, so you don't have to worry about cables. You can put in cables if you want to during a shoot, and of course that's an option, but if you want complete freedom, then shoot without the cables. The first thing I noticed when I unboxed the product was that it has threads in both ends, and that means that both in this end here, you can see there is a little thread, and also here where I now have mounted my very small Manfrotto tripod here, you can actually put it on a stick or whatever suits you, and then the light can be sort of distributed exactly the way you want it to. Let me just illustrate here. You can do like this, and then I can switch it on, and here you can see that I can now fully control the way the light is angled. And this, I think, is a brilliant little detail. And in general, I would say the design of this product is what has surprised me positively. I thought, okay, I'm going to do a review of a stick of light, but actually it has a few tricks up its sleeve. And when we get to the app, this is where it gets really interesting. But a nice little detail here, you can control the light or mount the light via the threads in both ends. Another little nice detail is that the ends here are not round. They have sort of surfaces or edges where you can put the light and then tilt it a little bit. So if you want to send the light downwards, you can do it like that. Let me just switch it on so you can see it. And if you want to send it upwards, you can do that. Here it's horizontal, here it's a little bit upwards. And it can actually be standing like this without you touching it. So if you want to backlight a product, for instance, if you put some light on, say, this box here, you could control exactly the angle. And I find especially the ability to send the lights a little bit downwards very useful for doing backlight of a product like this. You can also see that another advantage of having steady light, maybe this is obvious, but I find I work a lot with flashes, and of course with flash you get much more light than this, but it can be a little bit difficult to project or foresee where the light exactly will hit. When you're shooting with flashes with a steady light like this, you can really work with the details and get it just the way you want it to before you hit the shutter. With flash shooting, it's a little bit the other way around. You have to work with the images sort of looking at the result after the shoot and then adjust according to that. Here you can do it right away. Another little detail, which is actually not a detail at all if you ask me, is that the light is magnetic. I'm just zooming out here so you can see. Right now I have the other light sitting here on my computer screen, And I've actually used this in the video here. You can hear it's magnetic, it snaps to the computer screen here. So if I wanted to do a product shoot of this, I could actually use this light, but I actually was just using it here in a video. And I think it's super useful because it is so compact. You can actually fit it in a small studio right in front of yourself. So as a videographer, I'm pretty sure I will be using this light going forward. A really nice little detail that it's magnetic. So you have lots of options for mounting it, the thread on a table, angling it, and with the magnetic function. So really well designed, if you ask me. Those of you who follow this channel know that I really talk a lot about USB-C connectors, but that's because I have so many old cameras and old gear that all come with proprietary connectors and chargers and whatnot. And using USB-C, it just makes your life so much easier. And here I'm using my USB-C cable from my iPad, and it works fine. And you can see it tells me that it's fully charged. I really like that, and it just makes your life easier. So if you're buying gear from new and don't buy used or older gear, then I think you will also enjoy the fact that this is USB-C. In terms of controls, I think this light is just brilliant because you can control all aspects of the light. You have 4 menus here. This is the first one where I control the strength of the light and the color temperature. You have a second one here where you can control the brightness. And you have a third one here, you can control the individual channels. And then the final one, maybe a bit gimmicky, but here you can control the scene, as they call it. These are some effects that you can apply here. I have a light bulb, and I don't use this, but be aware that it is there. There are tons of options here. It's almost crazy. I'm just going back to controlling the light and the temperature. As you can see here, one of the things I missed is that these buttons are backlit, but once you start using the app where you can do exactly the same, I think it makes much more sense to use the app rather than actually this interface. So here I have the app, and I hope you can see it. I'll just turn down the light a little bit so the app is a little bit stronger relative to the light. You can see here I can control very easily the color temperature just by pushing some preset values. I can also pull a slider here and then control it myself if that is to my liking. I can make it more, give it a red tint here, or green if that is to your liking, or I can go to another menu here, just push that one. And you can see here I can control the channel and the group. It's just like a flash, so if you have several lights, that's really useful. And yeah, I think only your imagination is the limit here. You have so many ways of working with the temperature of the light here, or the coloring here. I can go out here. You can set the channels individually if you want to have green. Oh, yeah. Let me get back to. Thank you. There are so many options here that it's crazy, and I can only recommend that you start playing with these options and see what suits you. But I would be very surprised if you ran out of options here. These in here are perhaps a little bit gimmicky. You have flash, you have bursts, you have a flash lamp, you have an ambulance, if that is to your liking, a television, yeah. You have a fire truck. Of course, the light is red. You have romantic here. Yeah, that looks like Valentine's Day, doesn't it? And wave sign. Yeah, lots of options here. I maybe in a little bit extreme number of options you have here, but I really like working with the app mainly for the reason that the buttons are now, I would say, backlit. So when you work in the dark and it's difficult to see, then the app gives you access to all these features, and you can still see it in the dark. And I really enjoy that. Not so much with these buttons. So that brings us to the end of this review. I hope I gave you some insight to what you can do with this little light. It retails for around $60, $70. This is the summer 2022, so you need to be a little bit careful with giving prices, obviously, because of inflation and all of that. But I think it is a fairly priced product, and it has tons of features. So if you are in the market for a little light Of course, if you want to light up a very big place or a very big area, you may need to buy several of these or just use them as supplementing light. But I will say I think it is a really well-designed product, and if you are in a need for a small compact light that you can control in, I would say all aspects of the light, I definitely think this little Weeylite K21 here from Weeylite should be on your shortlist. Yep, as always, thank you for tuning in. Happy shooting. Take care. Bye bye.